You've noticed it before, even if you couldn't name it. The way her energy shifts right when you start to relax, the sudden delay after a smooth conversation, the teasing question that lands like a curveball, the casual mention of another man when the rhythm was just beginning to flow. It's not random. It's not personal in the way you think. It's a pulse check, a calibration, a test, not a school exam or some childish game, but a subconscious scan for one thing: your center. She doesn't want a boy who needs her approval to breathe. She wants a man whose breath is steady with or without her. If you've ever felt confused by mixed signals, if you've ever wondered why momentum evaporates moments after you think you've got it, that confusion ends now. Because once you understand what a test actually is and how to move through it, you stop reacting like a man being evaluated and start responding like a man being revealed. Here's the truth most men miss. A woman's tests aren't meant to destroy your confidence, they're drawn to reveal it. Nature hides selection inside tension. Attraction wants certainty, and certainty shows up under pressure, not when everything is easy. Think about it. Anyone can seem confident when texts are instant, plans are smooth, and attention is guaranteed. But attraction, real attraction, seeks the signal that you remain yourself when the wind hits your face. That's why she throws friction into the moment, not to punish you, but to see if you break, chase, or stay grounded. When you collapse, she loses respect. When you chase, she loses interest. When you stay composed, she relaxes and leans in. If what you've heard so far is shifting how you see yourself, stay with me until the end, because we're just getting started. Before we decode the 5 tests, you need the anchor beneath all of them: your frame. Frame is the invisible climate you carry. It's the calm in your eyes, the unhurried pace of your voice, the way your decisions don't stutter when emotions spike. Frame is not posturing or fake dominance. It's the absence of need. It's standards without explanation, boundaries without drama, desire without attachment. Your frame says, I choose to be here, and I can choose to leave. I care, but I don't chase. I'm open, but I'm not available to disrespect. From this center, every test stops feeling like an attack and starts feeling like an invitation to demonstrate who you are. If this is hitting something inside you, drop your thoughts below. I read every single one. The first test is the delay test. It's simple. Things slow down on her side. Replies take hours when they used to take minutes. Plans you suggested become maybe. She cancels last minute with a vague reason and expects you to reapply for the job of seeing her. In your body, you feel the pull to explain yourself, to prove you're still worth it, to send another message to clarify your intent. That urge is your ego begging for reassurance. Don't feed it. The psychology behind the delay is not cruelty. It's measurement. She's measuring whether your attention is stable or frantic, whether your focus is on your purpose or on her phone, whether your time is valuable because you guard it or valuable only when she validates it. The low-value move is to fill the silence with effort. Double texts, long paragraphs, playful shame, or just checking in messages. Every extra ping is an announcement. Your availability controls my state. The high-value move is easy to say and hard to do. You remain calm, you keep your rhythm, and you make one clean invitation with a boundary baked in. All good. Let's hit Tuesday at 7, small roasters on 3rd. I'll be there until 8. No explanation, no apology, no chasing. If she agrees, great. If she flakes again, you make the next invitation smaller or you step back entirely. You don't punish. You don't argue logistics. You let your standards speak. People treat your time like you treat your time. Once she feels you won't abandon your center for her attention, 2 things happen. Either she calibrates and leans in, or she reveals she was never serious. Both outcomes serve you. The second test is the jealousy probe. You're mid-conversation, and she casually mentions the guy who won't stop DMing her. She laughs a little louder when the waiter compliments her. She shows you a photo someone sent and watches your face for micro-reactions. This isn't always malicious. Often it's her nervous system seeking reassurance that you're not a man who rattles easily, that your sense of worth doesn't collapse when attention shifts for 10 seconds. The insecure response is instant performance, bragging about your own options, policing her behavior, scanning the room like a watchdog, or tossing jabs at the imaginary rival. The grounded response is amused certainty. You don't flinch. Your eyes soften. You slow down. You speak like a man who has nothing to prove. Try this. A half smile, a relaxed breath, then, "He's got taste." Or, "I'm not competing with your phone." Then pivot the frame back to the two of you. Thursday, wine or tacos? Notice the structure. Acknowledge, neutralize, lead. You're not ignoring reality. You're refusing to be baited into the lowest frequency of interaction. If she escalates the probe into disrespect, flirtation meant to humiliate, triangulation meant to control, you don't negotiate. You end the interaction with warmth and finality. We're not doing that. Take care. Walking away is not punishment, it's self-respect. Precision matters here. You're not trying to make her jealous back, you're demonstrating that your emotional weather stays steady in light rain. The third test is the boundary push. This is where she leans against your edges to feel if they're real. She might show up chronically late and expect you to be thrilled anyway. She might ask for favors that are too intimate for the stage you're in. She might poke at a value you've expressed to see if it's a posture or a principle. This is where many men swing between two extremes. They either collapse into compliance or explode into control. Both are weak. The art is warm firmness. A clear no wrapped in presence, with an offered alternative that keeps the connection open. Use the one-sentence boundary. Name the value, name your preference, offer the path. "I value my time. I don't wait more than 15 minutes. Let's plan earlier next time, or we reschedule." "I don't lend money in dating. What I can offer is planning a great evening." "I don't share location. I'll text you when I'm on my way." No lecture, no sermon, no 5-paragraph essay proving your worth. Just a man's line delivered with steady eyes and clean energy. The first time you said it, watch what happens to her body language. Often shoulders drop, breath deepens, and the energy becomes calmer. She felt your spine. That relaxes the feminine. And if she resists, you repeat once. If it continues, you end it without resentment. You don't need to defend a boundary that exists to protect your peace. The fourth test is the congruence call-out. She's paying attention to whether the man you claim to be is the man you are under friction. She'll tease you, challenge you, ask a sharp question, or create a small interruption just as you're leading. Are you always like this? Prove it. You talk a big game. The rookie mistake is to perform. When you perform, you hand over your center and work for her validation. The antidote is demonstration, not declaration. You don't argue the point, you embody it. Short answer, anchored point, decisive action. Sometimes. Come on. Then you lead her to the bar, to the dance floor, to the table with the better light, to the exit to catch that food truck you mentioned. Or, if her call-out is fair, you take responsibility without shrinking. Good point. I rushed that. Here's what I meant. Congruence is not perfection. It's alignment. When you're aligned, you don't fear being wrong because your worth is not on trial. Use silence as a tool. Let your eyes do half the talking. Speak slower than your insecurity wants. Men who rush are usually convincing themselves. Men who own reality can move at the speed of calm. The fifth test is the leadership and investment test. She says, you choose, and watches if your eyes dart or your face tightens. She says, plan something fun, and measures whether you can lead a moment without turning it into a PowerPoint. She says, I don't know, what do you want? And waits to see if you can set a direction while staying attuned to her comfort. Leadership is not barking orders. It's offering a path with clarity and consideration. Make decisions in closed loops. 2 strong options, clear time, clear logistics. Saturday works. Option A, 7 p.m. Neapolitan spot on 9th, best small plates in the city. Option B, 5 p.m., art exhibit opening, then a walk. Pick your vibe. You're not asking her to mother the plan, and you're not steamrolling her either. You reduce the friction of saying yes. During the date, continue leading with invitations, not commands. Let's grab a corner table. Walk with me. The city's quieter this way. The test goes deeper later when she asks for something that requires effort. Changing plans, meeting friends, taking a different route. Here, you weigh the request against your standards and schedule. If it fits, you adapt without drama. If it doesn't, you say so simply, can't tonight, another time. Remember, leadership builds trust only when it includes the ability to say no. Now that you've seen the structure of the 5 tests, we're going to build the internal system that lets you respond without thinking. Start with your breath. Under pressure, your breath tries to climb into your chest and sprint. Drop it. Inhale through your nose, low and slow. Count 3. Exhale for 4. Feel your ribs expand. Feel the back of your neck lengthen as if a string is lifting your crown. This isn't meditation fluff. It's physiology that becomes presence in seconds. Next, slow your pace by 10%. Men talk too fast when we're trying to keep control. Control isn't loud. Control is precise. Precision lives in silence. Let silence work for you. When she pauses to see if you'll fill the gap, look at her like you already know the answer and your soul is slightly amused. Then speak one sentence. You'll be shocked how often the entire energy of the moment follows your tempo. In your messages, adopt the invitation rule. You send your opener or your response. If the back and forth is already warm, you escalate to a plan within 2 or 3 exchanges. Good banter. Let's move this to real life. Thursday at 7, coffee or wine? If she agrees, confirm logistics the day before with a single line. Tomorrow 7 p.m., Rose Lane, wear comfortable shoes. If she declines without offering a counter, you step back. If she counters with a time, you lock it in. If she cancels, you offer one more date with a smaller window. No stress. Sunday 5 p.m., quick coffee? If there's another cancel, you exit gracefully. Timing's off. Be well. Why so clean? Because every extra message past your boundary spends from your dignity, and dignity is the most attractive thing you own. During the date, lead the frame with micro-decisions, where you stand while you wait, not hunched in a corner scrolling, but upright, phone away, scanning the room like a man who chooses his environment. How you greet, eye contact first, then a small step into her space, then a warm, decisive hello. Where you sit, angle yourself at 45 degrees so you can open or close distance naturally. What you notice? Not cliches about her hair or dress, but something she chose that signals thought. You choose quiet places. You read the menu like a strategist. These are not lines, they're observations from presence. Every observation tells her the truth. You actually see. When tests appear mid-date, match them with standards wrapped in ease. If she's late, you acknowledge without bitterness. We have 40 minutes now. I'm gone at 8. Then you enjoy those 40 minutes fully. If she brings up an ex or that guy from her gym, you give the amused nod and redirect. He'll survive. Now, tell me the most overrated thing about this city. If she pushes for a change, you can't make, let's go somewhere else, I'm bored. You decide. If you're open to it and time allows, you pivot. If not, you hold the line. Not tonight, next time. Your steadiness generates safety. Safety invites softness. Softness amplifies attraction. Let's talk about calibration, because men who treat every test with the same hammer eventually break good connections. Not every delay is a probe. Sometimes life is life. Not every mention of another man is a game. Sometimes she's simply narrating her day. You calibrate by watching patterns, not single events. 3 separate cancellations with no counteroffer? It's a pattern. A single reschedule with a proactive new time? That's interest with a mature signal. A teasing comment followed by attentive presence and genuine questions? That's playful polarity, not disrespect. You're not paranoid, you're perceptive. Keep a simple rule. Energy invested should feel reciprocated across weeks, not minutes. If reciprocity disappears, you don't punish, you reprioritize. Here's a blueprint you can use immediately. Before you meet her, you set your internal tempo. 3 slow breaths, shoulders down, eyes soft. You arrive 5 minutes early, not 10, so your energy stays warm rather than restless. Your phone stays away. When she arrives, you give her 5 seconds of undivided presence before you say anything. 5 seconds is a lifetime in a distracted world. During the first 10 minutes, you lead 2 transitions. Let's grab that corner, then, let's step outside for a minute. Those transitions announce leadership without speeches. During conversation, you run the 5-layer listening. What she says, how she says it, the value under it, the fear behind it, and the choice she's making next. You respond to values, not stories. If she says, I hate my boss, you don't interrogate the drama. You say, you value freedom. When tests arrive, you answer like a river around a rock. Fluid, unforced, still moving forward. You will be tempted to explain yourself. Don't. You will be tempted to defend your standards. Don't. You will be tempted to teach her a lesson. Don't. You model. You decide. You lead. Let's deepen the 5 tests with precise language you can use and adapt. Delay test lines. After a fade, we both get busy. If you want to meet, Tuesday 7 works. If not, no stress. After a cancel, all good. Sunday 5 p.m. Quick coffee? If the timing's off, we'll leave it. After a second cancel, no lecture, just closure. Timing's off. Be well. Jealousy. Probe lines. When she mentions attention from other men, you're magnetic, not news to me. Then pivot. We're going to try the pistachio gelato, trust me. If she tries to make you compete, I don't chase attention. I give it to what's worth it. Then you move your body, not your mouth. Stand, lead, transition. Boundary push lines. When asked for something too soon, I move slower with that. This, however, I'm down for. When she's late, we have 40 minutes now. If she argues, another time then. Congruence call-out lines. When teased, sometimes, come see. When challenged to prove, I don't prove, I choose. Then you choose. Leadership test lines. When she says, you choose, done. 7 p.m., cozy place, talk and taste. If she resists every suggestion, I choose with input. Give me one parameter, quiet, artsy, or lively. You narrow choices, then decide. Understand something crucial. The tests don't end once she likes you. They change shape. Early tests revolve around attention and baseline security. Later tests revolve around trust, consistency, and your ability to lead through conflict. As intimacy deepens, she'll test whether your words match your calendar. She'll test whether your anger hurts or heals. She'll test whether your desire has room for her emotions or whether your emotions swallow both of you. Here's the North Star. Strength without warmth is hard. Warmth without strength is soft. She wants both in the same man. So you remain unshakable, and you remain kind. You keep your promises or you don't make them. You check in without asking permission. You speak your boundaries early, not after resentment blooms. You apologize when you miss, not to get forgiven, but because you hold yourself to a higher standard than anyone else does. There will be moments when the right move is to walk away, not as a tactic, as a truth. Red flags that deserve no negotiation. Contempt disguised as humor. Chronic chaos blamed on everyone else. Loyalty only when it's convenient. Disrespect for your time after you've clearly set the frame. Recurring triangulation where you're pitted against a ghost for sport. When you encounter these, you don't create a courtroom in your messages. You end it like a man who values his future. We want different things. Take care. Closure is not cruelty, it's clarity. The odd thing about clarity is that it's magnetic. When you can leave, you become the kind of man it's worth staying for. Let's bring this to your daily life. Picture tomorrow. You're at a cafe, the hum of conversation is low and warm, and she's walking toward you. You stand up. Not a frantic jump, a deliberate rise. You meet her eyes, and you let the world be quiet for one breath. Good to see you. Your handshake or brief embrace is confident and respectful. You lead the seat. You ask a question that opens her, not her resume. What felt most alive this week? She answers. You listen. You summarize what you heard in one sentence and you add one clean observation. 10 minutes later, a test arrives. She says, I'm starving, but I'm picky. You smile. I like picky. It means you've got standards. We'll order 3 small things and explore. You lead the order. She mentions her ex in passing. You don't freeze. You nod once and shift the frame. Let's talk about what actually excites you now. Later, she delays on the next plan. You don't chase. You send the clean invitation. And then you return to your life, your training, your work, your craft. You are the center, not the orbit. If this feels like a lot to remember, anchor it in 3 words. Breathe, slow, decide. Breathe to regulate your nervous system so your choices come from strength, not scarcity. Slow your speech and your movements to pull the world into your tempo. Decide with clarity and kindness and let your yes and no be simple. Everything else is technique that flows from these pillars. The delay test yields when you decide cleanly. The jealousy probe dissolves when you slow and smile. The boundary push respects you when you breathe and speak one sentence. The congruence call-out submits when you demonstrate instead of declare. The leadership test becomes a pleasure when your decisions are steady and your presence is warm. There's a final reframe I want to leave in your bones. Tests are not traps, they're tuning forks. When a violinist tunes an instrument, they're not trying to break the string, they're finding the note. You are the instrument. When she tests, she's listening for a frequency that says he knows who he is. When you react, you go sharp or flat. When you respond from center, you resonate. And resonance is irresistible. Don't aim to avoid tests. Aim to become the man for whom tests are simply opportunities to be seen as he already is. If what we uncovered today cracked something open in you, if you feel yourself a little taller, a little calmer, a little more precise, then keep this energy alive. Practice the small moments. Pick one line you'll use this week. Set one boundary you've been avoiding. Make one clean invitation without padding it in apologies. If this hit you, drop a comment with the test you face most often. I read them and answer when I can. If you know a brother who keeps losing himself the minute she pulls away, send this to him today. Don't keep it to yourself. And if you want more of this, the psychology, the language, the inner game that lets you move like a man who doesn't beg for gravity, stay with me. We're just getting started.